Let's go to Jano in Mountain View. Hey, Jano, what are you doing?
Hey, guys. You know more than me about this. I don't have baseball reference in front of me. But the thing where I tuned out, and I'm one of those people that no longer go to the game, I'm out, is that two things that just make me crazy. They don't want to overpay for talent. Well, how many times are we going to not overpay and then lose somebody? In this market, I don't think we ever had a chance at Judge. I think Judge knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Agreed.
But I think we did have a shot at Bryce Harper. And would we have to overpay? I guess we would. Well, then you do it. That's part of doing business. And the other thing is we never sign a guy coming off a great year. Well, he was great the year before coming off injury. Well, he had a great 2020. He was great in 2020, but he hurt his ankle, and now we're hoping he rebounds. We never sign anybody where you're like, damn, we just signed an all-star.
Right. Now, this is a really interesting point. Jano, thank you very much, because what has happened, and I believe that this has become a disease in a lot of sports, which is everybody's looking for the bargain. And by the way, you want to know who I really blame for this? It's not the executives around sports. It's the owners. It's the owners. I don't even really understand it, to be honest with you. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the idea of these multi-billion-dollar sports franchises worrying about every dollar every year. I don't understand it. Now, I'm no executive. I'm no billionaire. And I know that when you hear the word billionaire, you think, it's money, who cares? And I know that's not the way they think. But like when Joe Lacob is like, look, I've got shareholders that I need to answer to. Really? Is that really how it works, or does it have to? Do you guys get on a Zoom and worry if you're spending $350 a year versus $400? Does that really freak everyone out?
I'm sure it does.
When your organization is worth $7 billion and keeps going up, and you know damn well that if you're good or exciting, you're going to get it at the gate.
You don't just rubber stamp that when you got to ask a guy to chip in another $40 million.
I'm not saying the answer is yes every time. What I'm saying is, why did the world suddenly become obsessed with, you know who we need to sign? We need to sign the guy that you don't see coming, because we can get him at $10 million. We can get him because he's coming off arm surgery. So we could get him at $10 million, because that sure thing over there, he's $20 million. I don't want to spend $20 million on a sure thing. I want to spend $10 million on the one that makes me look super smart, and you, boss, will love me for doing it. Well, you're super smart. $10 million, he's coming off of a bad year. Like, you do have a track record of nailing some of those, from a Kevin Gausman to
Rodon,
a Drew Smyly, Carlos Rodon. But now you're in a slump. You're in a Ross Stripling, Sean Manaea slump as far as finding that guy. The sure thing is competitive. I get it. Freddie Freeman signed as a free agent with the Dodgers. Could the Giants have gotten him? Probably not. But it's because all of this has become a snowball effect. It's all built on itself. And now the Dodgers are just this humming machine because they can walk up to any player and be like, want to go to the World Series this year? And they're like, yeah. You want to live in L.A. where it's hot all the time? Yeah. You want to hit in a ballpark where when you hit a home run, it actually goes over the fence? Yeah. All right, cool. And we got 4 more of you to surround you in the lineup, too.
Right. You're an all-star. You're hitting 7.
The hell are you doing? Like, what do you do?
You go the other way, and you double down on pitching and defense, and you bring in as many of the great arms as you can. And Robbie Ray, darn it, he's going to be ready in July, maybe after the All-Star break, when you are 50 and 65. Okay, Robbie, come in here and get your 9 starts and see if you can't get us up to the 75-win plateau. And Blake Snell, you know what? We got one of the Boris 4. It was a great get. Here's a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. Well, he's too hurt to pitch, so that one didn't work out too great. And your defense, as I mentioned before, you're fourth in baseball in errors committed, including your prized defensive third baseman, Matt Chapman, who is second in baseball in errors on his own.
Yep.
So you tried to go the way that you have to go, Hunter Pence, pitching and defense, and your pitching hasn't been great. You know, Webb has been really good. Harrison's been as advertised. Keaton Wynn now, wow. A couple of bad ones in a row, and your Blake Snell spot you can't win out of, and your bullpen's been shaky. So shaky staff, shaky defense, and now you're 5 games below 500.
Was there what was the sure thing in this offseason? I mean, obviously Shohei Ohtani. That's such
Yamamoto felt like a sure thing.
I guess. Yeah. And that, to me, if you really want to look back at the way the Giants have played the last handful of off seasons, that's the whiff. That's the miss. That's the one. It's not Shohei Ohtani and it's not Aaron Judge. Ohtani is such a different negotiation. He's going to walk in there and he's like, this is the contract that we would like to sign. Do you say yes? Yes, we do. Okay, we'll call you back. And obviously they couldn't compete with the Dodgers in terms of what Shohei wanted. Now, could they have countered his own proposal? I guess they could have. I don't know. I don't know how that whole thing was going to play out. Shohei was driven by winning to the point where I don't know if he wanted more money.
Agreed.
Because he was like, no, you got to have something left to spend on everyone else. But the Yoshinobu Yamamoto situation, the Giants have been working this for 3 years. They have been working and obsessed with him for 3 years. And what was the deal he ended up signing? What did he get? He got $250 million, $300. The Dodgers spent
$325. $325. 12 and 3 1/4.
Okay.
And I don't want to steal from Grandy. I'm going to. I don't know if he was about to jump in and say this, but the other guy who felt like a sure thing is Imanaga, who has come on and been absolutely filthy. And Grandy pointed it out in our thread earlier, and I mean, he's got a 1.08 ERA.
I don't know if it felt like a sure thing.
I guess.
You know what I mean? But yeah, and I think they were, quote, in on him too. The Giants are in on Imanaga. But Yamamoto was the one they were obsessed with.
Right. Soler, not a sure thing. He's been up. No. He's had up and down years. Even Blake Snell, coming off of Cy Young years, he's had down years.
Yep.
Chapman, the thought was, well, first half Chapman, you're loving it. Second half from last year, Chapman, and that's kind of been more the player he's been. Even
Jung-Hoo Lee was not.
Even Jung-Hoo Lee,
that's not a sure thing at all. It felt like Ohtani and Yamamoto were the two where you could be like, go mark it down. These guys are going to play at a very high level. Your freaking rival got both of them. Spent $1 billion, spread out over the next 1,000 years. Okay. The question I always have is what would have gotten it done? You know what I mean? How many times have we got, the Giants made a competitive offer. Okay. Right. Competitive offer. I don't know, man. Maybe they did offer Yamamoto more, and he said no. I have no
Yamamoto
clue.
signed after Ohtani, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, maybe it's a case where he was more comfortable going to play with Ohtani than he would have been coming here.
By just, you look at it like I was really optimistic on Yamamoto because he's a pitcher. You don't have, like Shohei, you got to convince him that he's got to hit the ball over Triple's alley. Yamamoto, that's a strength. That's a strength. So with the obsession that they had with him, think about this. This happens a lot of times at your local charity auction. You get somebody to put that little paddle board in their hand. If they decide, and they are of resource, I'm not losing this item. Well, then that's it. You're not losing. And you will go wherever the hell you need to go in order to walk out of there with that item. I would have liked to see the Giants do that with Yamamoto. I'm not in on the negotiations. I can't tell you what happened. But could you walk up to Yamamoto and his representatives and go, look, and remember, this was the story. Remember the headline. The Giants will not be outbid for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And Dibs, maybe they weren't. But was this sentence uttered? Was this question asked? Hey, what's it going to take all of the other teams off the table? What's it going to take all of these other conversations and get them off of the table so that you will only look at us? What's it going to take? Answer that question, then say yes before they're even done answering it.
Well, maybe the answer to that question is there's nothing you can do to take the other teams off the table.
Maybe.
Because Shohei Ohtani is a Dodger, and boy, I sure would like to play with another Japanese player, and Ohtani's a Dodger, and the Dodgers are good, so we're not doing take the other teams off the table. Make your best offer, and I'll make my decision.
Maybe that's how it went.
Probably.
Or even if you do that, $400 million. Okay, fine, we'll do it. Then do you call the Dodgers? Hey, the Giants are going to do $400 million. Will you? And the Dodgers may well have been like, sure. I mean, for all we know, that's exactly how it happened. Like, how do we know that the Giants didn't be like, dude, whatever? He goes, fine. $325 million. Deal. You got it.
Would you rather finish second or third to a pitcher you found out is really good in this Yamamoto situation? Or would you rather not even have much interest in a pitcher who turns out to be really good? This from Alex Pavlovich, January 10th. Here's one of our Giants insiders, Alex Pavlovich, in a tweet. I've seen a lot of confusion about the Giants and Imanaga. They were never a front runner here. People just went wild with rumors. Here's the quote. They view him as more of a back-end starter and prefer other guys.
Oh.
What's his ERA, Grandy?
Just over 1. He's 5-0. And the ERA jumped up because he gave up 2 earned runs his last outing. It was like 0.7 before that.
Yeah, 1.08. Yeah, and you pointed this out, Grandy, a few days ago about guys who were just unreal and what a top-line starter looks like.
The Cubs are paying him 4 years, $53 million.
Okay.
That's 13 and a quarter per.
Possibly less than the Giants are going to play Snell between now and next October.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, no, not for sure, because he could opt out. He could come back and have a good season. I don't know.
Right.
But we're a quarter of the way in, and he doesn't have a win yet.
And his deal's what, $32 million a year? Is that right?
31.
Okay.
Right.
So what hurts more? Just not having the foresight in your scouting department to miss, or come up second or third?
I still think the Yamamoto thing hurts more because that's the guy you wanted. The Giants, if they were wrong about Imanaga, then they were wrong. Like the other thing on Imanaga is he could just be on a heater. I mean, it's 5 starts.
Yeah.
Right? He could just be on a heater. This does not mean his career is going to be amazing.
7 starts, 5 wins.
Okay, 7 starts.
And eventually there will be a book on Imanaga, and he will normalize back to, probably about a 1.7 ERA.
But the other thing is they got a pitcher for 4 years. The Giants can counter and say, well, look, we went with who we thought was an awesome lefty. His name is Blake Snell. And it's like, right. And if that goes well, he's gone in 1 year. Gone. And if it doesn't go well, then it's a bad contract. And then you're going to pay $62 million over 2 years for a guy who disappoints you. So not good, but when I look back on this offseason, and I think what disappointed you as far as who you didn't get, it's not Ohtani, because that didn't surprise me. It's Yamamoto. Because I thought they could get him.
Getting Blake Snell definitely tamped down that disappointment, but now the disappointment kind of goes back up with